Good evening. Whew, I guess I'm going to be pretty short in comparison to everyone else. I'm actually pretty angry. I'm pretty livid because the way I wrote it, the farce that has been going on about Salisbury being safe has got to stop. Stop advertising that Salisbury is a safe place to live, a safe place to go, and a safe place to retire when that is only getting people hurt because this place is not safe. Not trying to make everyone scared. I mentioned about me, I got mugged next to Prince Street Elementary School 3 years ago. This incident happened, at night, sure. Things have changed now. What brought me here today is that my roommate got mugged at 6:20 on Wednesday, September, last week, 6:20 p.m. at the entrance to Acme. No matter what the cops did or didn't do about this situation right now is irrelevant at the moment. What is most relevant to me is that this is considered a safe city when mugging and crime happens and is thrown under the carpet nonstop. And when this happened in broad daylight, as my roommate can show. Are people on the alert about the crime in Salisbury? Are people aware that the city is nowhere as safe as it is advertised? I despise the fact that this is advertised as one of the best places to retire. This is not Ocean Pines. No. I take back what I said about comparing Salisbury to Baltimore last time. However, the biggest difference between the two is at least Baltimore talks about their crime. We don't. We just throw it under the carpet, throw it in the nightly news, and then it's done. Don't let the criminals after committing a crime walk the street like they just jaywalked. When I got mugged, the cops asked me asked me, which of these guys mugged you? I couldn't identify him. I don't take pictures of little kids all the time. If you pointed him in a lineup, I would have instantaneously said that one. But no, because I couldn't identify him, just a few months later, he was next to me, harassing me right on my street on the way home, saying that he's going to beat me up again next to make it the second chance. He was able to walk like nothing. Of course, didn't call the cops again. Why should I if he just got a slap on the wrist? All I'm saying is we gotta stop treating Salisbury like Wonderland. I love kindness and being kind and all, but if we're gonna claim that we're the first kindness city in the world, we gotta start acting like it. And I'm glad that you guys are here to help with drugs and alcoholism and such. But at the same time, the fact that this is an issue in Salisbury as well, and the first kindness city in the world, we gotta stop convincing people that drugs and alcoholism and flooding and corruption and thievery and assault and murder, we gotta stop convincing people that this stuff is kind. Stop fixing the things that aren't broken and start fixing the things that need to be fixed, like crime. And going back, I want to highly agree with what Ms. Jackson was livid about. Fix what needed to be fixed decades ago and stop fixing what you want to suddenly fix now. I actually am also a victim of flooding. Has the flooding helped? As a matter of fact, there was 4 years worth of construction that happened, and then, as we saw on Saturday, the flooding change has not changed whatsoever. My parents had to go through it 3 times. Nothing's changed in 10 years. Fix this stuff. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Holly Worthington.
I came to talk on the getting of the meeting minutes. However, this thing about addiction has really got me because I used to work for Wacomico Health Department. I had a substance abuse program that I operated out of grant money, worked with dual diagnosis, HIV, and STDs. I worked in the jail setting. I worked in all the settings where I was directly in communication with people who were actively working on treatment. I used to stand on the corner of Church Street, hand out condoms, coffee, donuts, talk to people. a lot of the people I would see in the jail settings would return back to the same settings because of the fact they didn't have a place to go. So I get where these people are coming from, and hearing this upsets me. I used to go into the halfway house they used to have on Newton Street and directly have dinner with the guys and talk to the people, and there were people that were actually working towards their treatment. And just hearing this saddens me because of the fact that if they don't have a place to go, they're going to go right back to what they know. It's almost like the jail sets them up for failure. It doesn't provide them where they need to go after they get out. So that's my one thing about that. Now I'm going to get into the meeting minutes. After emailing and talking, I requested these meeting minutes, and I was told by Ms. Jackson, after they spoke with the city attorneys, due to client privileges, they can't release the meetings minutes of June 2023 meeting. However, it is common knowledge that the attorney-client privilege does not prevent the client, which is our city council, from releasing whatever is covered by that privilege by waiving their privilege. So you guys have the ability to release the minutes if you feel so inclined to do so. And I feel like we have all these people that want to see them. We're a community. If this is something that you guys were working on for the community, why can't we be a part of it? Open Meetings Act does not even require the council to meet in closed session to get this legal advice. This act permits the council to release the minutes and recording of the minutes by majority vote. So it's up to you guys if you want to release the minutes. Withholding the minutes to us seems shady. It doesn't seem like you're looking out for our best interests. I'm here because this is affecting me personally, but it's also affecting our community, our downtown. I mean, look at how our little festival went down. If that was not rained, what would have happened with the parking? It would have been crazy. Anyway, if you guys need any specific notes about law, we can look it up. But, if you don't want to provide the part where the attorney spoke, that's fine. But I feel like as somebody who has worked for everything I have, nobody's handed me shit. I feel like you guys need to give us the same, respect and give us what was in that meeting. And again, I'm looking forward to hearing or seeing those minutes because I feel like that's something that we need to be provided as a community. Thank you
so much. Thank you. Terry Bradford.
Good evening. My name is Terry Bradford. I'm a realtor, and I've been a realtor for 23 years almost, and I'm here to speak on behalf of Homes for Hope. One thing I wanted to talk about was fear. Fear drives us to do so many things, all the what ifs, all the terrible things that could happen. But that's true with any facet of our life, right? We fear for safety. We fear of our finances. We fear for our families. But all that thinking, all that fear, all that wasted time on the what ifs, that never, ever happen. It doesn't. And it seems that so many fears are here regarding these recovery houses. I think we're treading on thin ice when we're asking for so much of their private information. We have some fair housing laws that we have to abide by. We don't make it up. The federal law comes into play, the state law comes into play. We don't get to say, right? That's dictated to us. So I think some of the fear that's driven is all the what ifs. So I also wanted to talk about that if we allow the fear to take away the rights that need to be followed or dictated by the federal and state, and we take away the hope that these individuals have, right? When we take all these things away, We're stealing the hope for the recovery. And Lord, such a sad, sad power as a hope stealer. No better than a dope dealer on the corner. You see, I'm a mother of a son of an addict. And if someone had said to me, we're not going to advocate for your son, we're not going to give you hope, we're not going to give you systems at work, we're not going to do anything, let's just watch your son die. But by God's hand, I was surrounded by those people who had hope for the broken, had systems, had ideas on how to help the boy that I love so much. And through these sober living homes, my son is now almost 6 years clean and sober. Woo! And is respected, a good citizen of the area. He serves people and he gives them hope, hope for a better life, leading others through that great hope. I'm acknowledging your thoughts. I'm acknowledging them. But where is your hope? Where is your support of human beings bettering themselves? Knowing time and time again, these homes succeed with their tenants and their counseling and their requirements and their systems. I mean, really, have you ever made a wrong decision, a wrong choice? Have you ever gotten off track? Ever? Ever wanted a second chance, maybe a third chance? Tried to even change or make your life better? If you ever denied that, it's a bad thing. I'm going to wrap it up by saying this. The pastor's prayer was pretty powerful tonight. He thanked God for forgiveness of our sins. He talked about the grace that God gives us every day, and we need it. Lord, we need it. And the mercies that he gives us anew as we face the day. So I'm praying your fears dissipate and your hope rises. Thank you.
We have Heidi online.
Hi, you can hear me?
I think so, yeah.
Hello?
1 second.
Okay.
Go ahead, Heidi. You should go.
4 minutes, Heidi.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Hi, good evening. My name is Heidi McNeely, and I'm here as a friend and colleague of Tish Oddie and Brandon Bradford. I met Tish in 2016 when I founded the Worcester County Warriors Against Opiate Addiction. Tish joined the board and worked passionately and tirelessly to help anyone who was addicted. Within a year, Tish had opened a beautiful recovery home in Salisbury that has now saved more lives than I can count. She soon opened the first recovery home in Worcester County and has become a beautiful force to be reckoned with in the battle against addiction. Sadly, this battle can never be won if the ignorance, narrow-mindedness, and hate that we are coming face to face with in our own precious city continues. It is well known by now that addiction is an illness and not a moral failing. Thank God that there are people that recognize this and want desperately to help the people who are ill. Jesse, the paramedic, suggested that people who are addicted be sent back to treatment facilities. It is important to understand that the people living in Hope for Recovery have already been through treatment. This home is their next step. This is their step into a productive and fulfilling life. Perhaps the people of Middle Boulevard should knock on the doors of homes that are not homes for hope and find out how many of those neighbors are suffering from untreated addictions and need help and compassion. I want to just end this by saying how very proud I am to be a part of a team that includes Mike Cooper and Terry Bradford and Brian and Molly, and Angel, and Rob Chase, what a fabulous testimony, and Jerry, and PJ Kurtz, and the lovely woman who was moved to speak about addictions just now. Thank all of you so much for your hearts and your testimonies, and God bless Middle Boulevard.
Thank you. We will now next have Caitlin Lacone. She's online.
Caitlin, you there?
Yes, can you all hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, great. I'm Caitlin, I live on Middle Boulevard. I first genuinely,
You went out. You need to charge it. You need to charge it.
staff have dealt with some sort of addiction, certainly mental health struggles, have a disability themselves or a child with a disability. So our stories really aren't all that different, and I recognize that. I took some notes. I guess really what I'm hearing are these beautiful testimonies about like speaking of parenthood, speaking of the children who have, you know, stayed alive because of homes like this, and it's really beautiful, and I believe it, and I there's no doubt in my brain that it doesn't work. I am asking now for my situation to be heard. You can villainize me if you need to. That's okay. My son is 6, and he has a disability. And this is kind of new to us actually, so I probably will get a little emotional. He is autistic, and that means a lot. That means, you know, different ways of processing the world. It's pretty beautiful. But one of the things during all my research about what autism is that has been really hard for me is the rate of an autistic person ending up with substance abuse issues. Mental health is already a struggle in our family. I am a veteran of Operation Enduring Freedom. A Facebook post talked about my unresolved trauma from the drug community, from the drug addict community, recovery community, and I recognize I have it. And I also think that my experience overseas walking through streets of people laying down, I didn't know if they were dead or just on drugs because the drug problem was so bad where I was at. It does haunt me. And I admit fully that that image comes in my brain now when I think of my street on Middle Boulevard. And I apologize for putting that on people. I don't mean to make that up. But I'm sure as a recovery community who struggles with things too, we don't always have control of what goes in our brain. So I guess what I also want to be clear, and I'm sure I'm running out of time, I'm not apologizing for taking a stand on this. Tish, you said the statement about me being worried of my son playing in the backyard naked. That's a real thing. You know, a struggle to get him to wear clothes is a real thing. And it's hard, and being next door, sharing a side of our backyard, literally, with men I don't know about. I asked real questions like, do they have sex offense? What is their criminal history?
30 seconds.
All things that a mom would do. And just being met with, you all do the honesty policy, you can't tell me. Just didn't sit well for me. I also got the legal notice that you all sent me today. And it's interesting because it said you
Mr. Robert Taylor.
Good evening. I want to tie together what I think are two waves that we're experiencing here in town of late. The first is the crime wave, and the gentleman with the check shirt here, I think, gave pretty good details on it. Anybody that listens to the local news certainly, I think, would be aware of that. And the other thing is the secrecy wave that I think has swept over this council of late. And we've heard some discussion about it in terms of minutes of closed meetings. I want to be maybe a little bit broader on that, and that is, of these closed meetings you're having, including the one in June, which was the reason for the closed meeting was to consult with council, and then the other meeting, one in July 17, and there's been another one August 7, which I'll get into in a second. But what we're having is, I think, a reluctance of the council to share with the public its reasoning on certain things. Let's go back to that June 20 meeting when you approved the sale of the 3 parking lots for peanuts, and also the obligation on the city to build the parking garage for $10 million or something in that range. Why should the public not have heard the closed session discussion? Is there something to hide? There's nobody threatening to sue the city. The normal reason to have a closed meeting to consult with council would be if somebody's breathing down the city's neck about a lawsuit where there might be something discussed that would help the person wanting to sue the city, to get money from the city, in other words. That's not the case here. That meeting was also convened to discuss the contract, not with council, but just to discuss it. And the meeting minutes, the special meeting minutes, not the full meeting, but the truncated minutes that you have to turn in, make very clear questions were fielded by Mr. Kitzrow. Mr. Kitzrow is not the council's attorney. As far as I know, I don't think he's even an attorney. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But anyway, that's my point. Why is there anything that should not be disclosed to the public about why you want to sell 3 parking lots to be destroyed for apartments and a parking garage? What is there? What's there to hide? I think it was said earlier that you can waive the attorney-client privilege. That's common law, and I'm sure the attorney sitting there knows that. The privilege belongs to the client, not to the attorney, and it can be waived voluntarily or sometimes involuntarily. And frankly, I think looking at the minutes of the work session that followed that June 20 meeting, it may have been waived by some of the discussion by council. But I'm not going to get on into that. That would be for a lawsuit if somebody wants to bring it. But anyway, to get to the point of things, and maybe what's going to happen tonight, I understand from the agenda, you're going to be interviewing candidates for the police chief, and you want to go into closed session to do that. Why should that be done in closed session? We're having a crime wave. Let's hear what the gentlemen have to say. I think they're all gentlemen. I don't think there is a female in there, but I could be wrong. I haven't looked at the names. But why? I mean, why shouldn't the public hear what they have to say about how we're going to address the crime wave? Now, if you want to do that in public and then you want to convene in closed session for your own discussion of who you like out of the 4 or who you don't like, whatever that case might be, well, fine, you can do that. But let's hear what they have to say. Let's hear what the public of these candidates have to say. You might actually want to postpone your decision to get the public reaction. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor.
Joe Venosa.
Hi, good evening. Hear me? Joe Venosa, District 3, and I'm going to steal a line from Mr. Taylor because you didn't say it tonight. Husband, father, taxpayer in good standing, and usually husband in good standing. So, thank you, sir. So I wanted to talk about I wasn't planning on coming down here tonight, but I was watching the meeting at home like the civic loser that I usually am. And, it caught my attention in terms of the different commentaries on the issue with Middle Boulevard. And I feel like there's an narrative that's being spun here that unfortunately is not particularly accurate, because it's a false binary. It's as if legal, lawful regulation of very important services or going after addicts and recovery in general. And it's not that. Right? The essence of this issue is, if we're going to have recovery services in our city, are we going to do it legally? Are we going to do it safely? And are we going to do it in a way that's beneficial for both the clients and the community that lives around it? I say that as somebody who has plenty of relatives. I have 2 uncles who died of the heroin and HIV epidemic in the 80s. I have a father who's had his own issues with addiction. So I don't speak from this from a place of being a NIMBY or any particular concern about one side or the other on the issue. But I find it remarkable that people are simply discounting taxpayer and community concerns about the unregulated aspects of these recovery homes and just saying, oh, you hate addicts or you're heartless. That is a complete garbage argument, and it shifts the issue. I think Mr. Dean said it very best. It's sort of like the metaphor of the bus, except not only is the bus unregulated, right, and it is at a real danger to the public, but the bus driver and some of those passengers, it seems, are going after the police who are trying to pull it over and regulate such illegal behavior. I think that's a real problem, because it's not a one or the other. We need to have regulated, clarified, safe process. If we can do that, then there's no need for anything to change. But until it's regulated, it becomes an issue. And I don't see how that's something that anybody can't be against. Whether you're a mother who has a special needs child, or a father who has a special needs child, or anybody who just cares about the direction of the neighborhood. It's not rocket science. Regulate it, have the oversight, follow the law that's there. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Andy. We'll now have administration and council comments. So Andy.
Sure, yeah, thank you. Just really enjoyed the Maryland Folk Festival this past weekend. I know the weather did not hold out, but thank you for our internal staff who worked all weekend, the volunteers who came out and worked, and for all those who came out and enjoyed the festival. We think we had a great time. The artists loved it. Our vendors loved it. So unfortunately the weather didn't cooperate, but I think the people who did come out and enjoy it had a blast. So that's the only strong comment I would like to make tonight.
I'm good.
No?
Thank you.
Okay, Michelle.
Okay, just piggybacking up on what Andy said. Really bummed I didn't get a chance to volunteer because my volunteer shift was on Saturday. So I'm going to put a plug out that I'm going to ask folks to donate to the folk festival to make up for the bucket brigaders that were not out there on Saturday trying to raise money to support a cultural event like that. And I don't want to take a lot of time here because we've been here quite a while. So I just want to put a shout out. I got a heads up earlier this evening about the NAACP in conjunction with Warwick is doing a blood drive tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. over at Warwick. If you want to sign up or make an appointment, they will take walk-in donors. But if you want to sign up and make an appointment, you can go to the Blood Bank of Delmarva website and look up the mobile look for the mobile unit on their website and make an appointment for tomorrow. We really do need donors, and September is National Sickle Cell Awareness Month, so let's be good neighbors and donate.
Thanks everybody for coming out. It's very important to hear everybody's comments. A lot of this information is fairly new to me. Some of this I'm not sure about or have been looped in. I will definitely be doing some additional research on some things to find out more about the direction of what's happening in the addiction community. I was very disheartening to think that some people felt the council or me in particular was not sensitive enough or didn't understand what was going on in regards to addiction. I will have to be looped in on what other matters this with the city and the Hope for Homes is about. In addition, I do want to address the Open Meetings Act. Allegedly, apparently there was a violation of the Open Meetings Act, and I know people are apparently wanting the minutes to that. No other council person has talked to me about their position on that. I have no idea where that would go or what that discussion would be like. But no one has approached me about that discussion, of waiving privilege or not. I know that if I'm not mistaken, that open meeting acts are closed door sessions. There's never been a disclosure of what is in a closed meeting, so I don't know if this in fact what this precedent would be or not be. There's that discussion also. So I'm hearing about what you're saying. I'm just going to have to really dig into more information about it. I did go to the Folk Festival Friday evening, and I met this gentleman there. His name is Gary Moore. He is an amputee, and he is a part of the Crossroads Amputee Support Group that is just starting out at Dove Point. And if you go to Facebook for the Crossroads Amputee Support Group, you can like their page. Their first meeting is Monday, October the 2nd, 2023, from 6 to 8 p.m. It's the only one in the region like it. And I think it's fantastic. I'm hoping to get more information on it myself to make sure the public is more aware of it. And they've been working with the local hospitals and orthopedic sites. So that's a very nice thing that is coming. Of course, we've been here very long, so I won't get into too much about vestibular disorders, but as always, please donate blood. Our region is critically low. One pint could save 3 lives. Thank you very much.
Well, I just want to thank, as I always do, everyone for coming out tonight. I know it takes a lot of courage, especially for those from the recovery community, to tell your story or to tell the stories of your loved ones. So thank you all. There's a quote made by Mr. Perez, if he's still here, that resonated really strongly with me that I just want to read back, which is, some of us have been saved and come back to give back to this community. And I think that just resonates with the amount of good work that so many organizations here in Salisbury and Wycomico County do to better our residents. That's powerful. We have a whole month dedicated to this topic because it is such a big issue here on the shore. It's something that doesn't get overlooked here at the city level. And I want you all to know that the conversations that we're having here today at the council are never meant to minimize the good work that you all are doing in bettering our community as a whole. And we look forward to seeing you all back and continuing this conversation because, like I mentioned, something that was brought up to me by a constituent today is I'm worried as a resident of this community and a recovering resident, she said, that I'm being viewed as a second-rate citizen. And I would hate for the residents of Salisbury who are recovering in public or in private to feel like second-rate citizens for this community. So please just know we're here to be representatives of you, but representatives of all. So we are taking the feedback from the Middle Boulevard residents from across the community, but also from the recovery community as well. So please continue engaging with us and moving forward. So thank you all.
Good evening. Transparency means a lot to me. A whole lot. Now, I'm going to say this. I don't ever remember a council being totally transparent. I'm just going to be honest. I've been in this city most of my life, 10 years that I've been gone. And I do not ever remember a city being so transparent. But I do believe in transparency. I do believe in being honest. I believe in being forthcoming. I believe in being real. I believe we have been violated. We were in violation. And I do believe that we should be forthcoming. I do believe that. I know I will have some people probably mad, or then I don't know what at me, but I don't care. Because if we want people to trust us, where are we at? We have to put ourselves in position to be trusted. We have to do this. And I just don't think that we have. Now, mind you, I said before, I don't think either council has been totally transparent at all in the years that I've been living in this city. But I do believe today, and I haven't spoken to any of our council members in reference to this, and I don't know how they feel, but I do know how I feel. And I believe in being transparent. So you can take that for what it's worth, because that's where I'm at. You can't keep covering up stuff. You can't keep hiding things and thinking it's not gonna, that's just like me cutting myself. And I want to keep putting a Band-Aid over, but I'm not doing anything to make it heal, just putting a Band-Aid on a sore. It festers and turns into a big sore. And that's what I don't want. I want people to be able to trust us. Trust is a big thing. Trust and believing. As far as Home for Hopes is concerned, I've been where you've been. I've told you that the last work session. I've been in your shoes. And I know that it is a walk. And it's a long, hard walk. It's a struggle. And I know there's people who probably don't want you in their communities, but where do we house you at? If not in somebody's community. This is my place. Where do we house you at? Do we pick and choose communities that we house people in? Do we pick and choose? Do we have that right to pick and choose? I know people pay their own homes, their own whatever, but if you've never been addicted to drugs, if you've never been an alcoholic, if you've never been in either one of those situations, you don't know what it is to go through it. And people do need people. And they need it, just like this mother. I don't know if she's still here. And she cried out and said she couldn't do it. She couldn't handle it. She wasn't built for it. She was not built for it. And a lot of us aren't built for it. A lot of our parents didn't. My mother wasn't built for it. But it was because of God, who I knew, who brought me through everything I went through. It was God. And no, you ain't supposed to mix government with God, but I'm telling you the truth. It was God who brought me through it. I never went into a recovery home or never went into anything. God helped me through this situation. And I believe people do need help. So do we pick and choose where these people go? Do we pick and choose helping? Because I said in one of our last meetings before, the opioid addiction is terrible here in the city of Salisbury and Wycomico County. And I witness it every day. Every single day I witness it. See, teenagers addicted. So there's a need for these houses, these recovery houses. There are need. Now, picking and choosing where we put them at, that's something to be discussed. It's something to be really discussed, and it's something that Andy and them can look into or whatever. But I think this woman did come in here, what's her name, Tish, didn't come in here and didn't put these homes in thinking it was going to cause that kind of disturbance. She just had a heart and compassion to help people. And that's what I feel. She just had the heart and compassion to help. And I won't bias to anybody, but I just think though she had that, because if I had me at home, I probably would have did it too. I'm not gonna lie, because I take anybody's children in, anybody in. I will. I do that. I've raised thousands of people's children that were homeless. So I can kind of, I'm not gonna straddle the fence. I'm just gonna say what's on my mind, because that's just how I am. I do believe that that was her passion to do, to help. The folk festival, I was there Friday. Didn't come back because I have underlying conditions, and I can't afford to be in inclement weather like that because I would do this thing. But the day that I was there, the evening I was there, it was lovely, and I enjoyed myself, and I twiddled and danced and skipped and hopped and did some other things, but I enjoyed myself. I'm sorry that the weather was inclement and couldn't be like it should have been, but hopefully next year it'll be a better year for the folk festival. I thank you all for coming and speaking, and I'll say it over and over again. This is just what we need. We need more transparency, not only from us, but from you all. And we thank you. We do thank you. And we do listen to what you say. And we do take notes. Hold your papers up, ladies. We do take notes. We do take notes. We take notes. You know, and we love our city, and we love what we do. We all do. We love what we do. And as far as the closed sessions, I want to dig a little deeper into that. But I do know tonight we're going to convene into a closed session. And I know Mr. Taylor may be kind of like on edge, but just hold on, Mr. Taylor, because we're going to figure out some things as well with that. Being said, if anyone is willing to stay for the closed session, you are to convene in that room back here. And anyone that's wishing to leave, to just leave, period, you can go out that double door right there. So, we are adjourned. Our meeting is adjourned. We're going into closed session.